All right, I call this meeting of the planning commission for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, a regular meeting in the city hall community room, in session, and roll call.
Detmer,
Here.
Freed,
Here.
Moss. Oh, sorry. Meridian,
Here.
Newman,
Here.
Robson,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Wilmot.
Okay. Approval of minutes for August 2nd. Joint planning commission. August 12th. Was for the CIP.
I move to approve. Second.
Rick makes the motion, makes the second. All in favor of approving?
Aye.
Everyone approves. And then moving on to August 20th. 2025.
I move acceptance of the minutes.
Charlie makes the motion. Rick seconds, all in favor of approving?
Aye.
It's just the time for public comments, if anybody wishes to speak about something that's not on the agenda tonight, so this would be the time.
Just listening.
All right, we'll close public comment because there's none. And I now open the public hearing at 6:01 p.m. for the proposed amendments to Article 17, general provisions, and Article 20, Board of Appeals, Section 207. John?
Lisa.
So at the August 20th meeting, the planning commission was presented with proposed zoning ordinance amendment language that was sent to them from the zoning board of appeals for consideration, and the commission had made the recommendation to change the time period that a zoning permit is valid for from 12 months to 18 months from the date of approval. You'll see in your agenda memo, I did do some research on neighboring communities to find out what their time frame was, just to kind of maybe put some minds at ease. They're anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. So we definitely fall on the higher end of that scale. And then also wanted to let you know that the zoning board of appeals did discuss architectural drawing requirement for new construction and that sort of thing, because I know there was concerns expressed about the time frame it takes from approval of a variance to then actually getting those final drafts completed. So another factor just to let you be aware of that is something that they had considered requiring when someone presents it. So not necessarily approving the variance at that first meeting, but requiring them to maybe potentially come back with those drawings.
Is
So-
there language in the current ordinance this allows them to request site plans?
They can, I mean, that is something they can ask for
Okay.
to review. So it's not something that has to be itemized.
Site plans would normally be required, right? But are they saying?
They're not required, well, depending on what the request is, yes, a site plan typically, but they're talking architectural specifically for new construction and those types of projects where you'll need to see what that looks like.
We're not required.
Conceptual drawings,
Conceptual.
conceptual drawings, but because that's basically what they would be making that, yes, not final.
Yeah.
But
But that doesn't have anything to do.
it doesn't have anything to do with this.
Why, what we're considering
Correct.
tonight. I just didn't know if it meant that we needed to do more language.
No, I just wanted you to know because those were things that came up at the last meeting that I wanted you to be aware of. And then, so attached to this is the draft language that the planning commission recommended, the change of 12 months to 18 months. The city attorney did review this and did approve it. So,
were there any comments about the time frame from the city attorney?
no,
That's okay.
All right, so this is the public content time, and I don't think there's any public here to speak. So at 6:04, I'm closing the public hearing. And moving on to old business 5A, proposed amendments to Article 17, general provisions, and Article 20, Board of Appeals, Section 2007 for our consideration. So any discussion?
I move that we recommended language to council.
Okay, Charlie makes the motion, Carolyn seconds, any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Wilmot,
Yes.
Detmer. Reed,
Yes.
Meridian,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Robson,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
That gets passed on to. Yeah. Oh, well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna rush into this so they can get out and then we'll. We can take it. All right, so the next thing is, new business. Number 6A, site plan review, SPR 1702 Standish Avenue, Worth Venture LLC, parking lot paving.
Yep,
Oh, wait, before we start. This is Wayne Seeger, he's the engineer, and this is Wade Worth, he's the owner, and, you know, we can ask them questions and. They'll be part of the discussion. Okay,
property is located over at 1702 Standish. It's currently zoned I2 industrial and it's just shy of an acre. On the staff memo on page 1, I've got the property outlined. You can see that it's got several buildings on the property, and it's got some areas that have been improved and some areas that have not been improved for parking. There's a couple of photos in the packet, and I think the best way to explain some of the site plan concerns is that if you take a look at page 6, I've noted them on the site plan, and I'll go through them. Number 1 is under city code, commercial and industrial curb cuts are limited to a maximum of 25 feet width. This curb cut is 50 feet, and the south curb is 33 feet, so both of them they exceed the 24 feet that's in the current code. In terms of number 2, there's an area in front of the building that has concrete. There's really no landscaping at all in front of the building. It's located about 7 feet from the right of way. It'd be nice to get some relief in the way of landscaping along the front of the building to help screen it a little bit. Number 3 is if you look in the very northwest corner of the parking lot, the way that the angle parking is set up, I think it's gonna be awful difficult for anybody to get in and out of two or three of those spaces, especially if they have to back out. So I think that from a design point of view, doesn't necessarily work. Number 4, the one parking lot with the markings really creates like an empty triangle, but it also prevents any circulation through the site if cars are parked the way that they're proposed to be parked. So that's something that I just thought was kind of odd based on the amount of asphalt that we have going on in the project. And then number 5 is there is an existing sidewalk that's located against the curb. It's kind of disrupted in several ways by the large driveway. I don't necessarily know if it needs to be replaced, but when you take a look at it and you're out there and if you get a site evaluation, you can see that it just kind of doesn't function well. Other than that, the city engineer was okay with the drainage plan. The way this is set up, there is an easement on the property. We included the easement document. The easement is the very south piece. If you look on page 1, you can see that there's a small rectangular area that is in purple. That's the easement location that's shared with the property owner. That's at lot 200-039. So they do have a shared easement. Part of the parking lot that's being proposed will be paving that part of the easement. So that's the site review. I know that the project engineer is here. If you have any questions, then included in your packet were the drawings for that were submitted along with the site plan.
okay.
You
Go ahead.
the old paper up here too a little bit. So I guess I just wanted to just introduce a few things and then to address some of the comments that have been made. So first of all, this is just a paving project. That's the intent. Wade has asphalt here and then gravel here. He uses all of it. And he just wants to clean it up and pave it. And then real quick, just a visual on the sheet is the size of the drainage detention area that exists right now. We're greatly expanding that, as you can see on the proposed plan. So just to emphasize again, it's just a paving project that was intended. And so I just want to just tell a couple things, just, and they have reason why they'll make sense here in a second. Wade wanted to keep this area gravel. It's gravel now. It's in the back 40. It's adjacent to the railroad. He wanted to keep that gravel. When it was submitted, the ordinance requires everything be paved. So, okay, and we'll pave that. And then also there was parking here, perfect place for accessible parking. Right here is where it was. We had a spot over here for a customer to go into this. We had a spot over here for customers over here. I mean, there's two buildings, bunch of garage doors. So we had that. Well, we can't put parking in the 50-foot setback. And so that was moved back here, hence some of the a little more squeaked in, which, you know, there are customers that have cars here for maybe overnight, and these are, you know, more apt for those types of vehicles that are going to remain. So anyway, the reason why I'm bringing these up is it's challenging for your industrial zone. If you go up and down the street, gravel on any of the parcels in the industrial zone, we know that when you do improvements, you're opening up, you want to get into conformance with all of the current ordinance, and that makes sense. That's a great way to do business. So yeah, the gravel back here, even though Wade did not want to do that, he's accepting that. Getting the parking spaces out of the 50-yard front setback made some little bit of weird configurations, but we were able to do it. But it's a shame, actually. And like I say, there's places along your industrial corridor that not even close. I don't know if they'd ever be able to do it. And then it gets to the first, so then that's kind of the prelude into the third kind of big one. The entrances. You know, this drawing here shows the turning movements of the property based on a lot of garage doors. 4 businesses, a lot of garage doors. So there's turning movements into here, turning movements into here. So this is coming right out of and then into here. So 2 entrances. You know, there was discussion of getting rid of one of the entrances and this stuff. And even squeezing them down, it greatly expands the scope of this project. Now we're gonna get into all the sidewalk, take out the curb, maybe cut it here. And that's one thing, you know, okay, that's a financial thing. But the actual turning movements that are required to service all these, it really works well right now. And so, you know, for something that was initially looked at as just trying to clean up the area and you know, put some fresh pavement down, we kind of felt that exceeded. And then I kind of told you those other things about your corridor of industrial. I'm not sure anybody meets that as far as this 24. That's great for residential or commercial or, you know, office space, but that's tough for your industrial district. And if you take the little wiggly guy on Google and drop him on Street View and run up and down your whole industrial district, there aren't many that would have that criteria of the 24-foot wide. So we ask that you allow Wade to keep the entrances as they are, and the 2 of them, due to the fact that it would greatly affect his business and not to pick on your ordinance, but you know, it is kind of tough for those industrial people to abide by that. So I worry for the next one who comes through and wants to do some improvements and has to abide by that.
Wayne, can I make a comment on the entrances?
Yeah.
So on there is a garage door that is facing Standish Avenue on that building there. You know, we have to have access in and out of that door. And then, you know, if one of the entries, say, was to be shut off, you know, the other building, yeah, keep going, the Tinners building up there, right there. So, you know, if that was shut off, let's just say that whole entry, you know, there would be no way to get in and out of that building.
This was shut off.
Right. So, you know, that's why we're proposing that the entrances stay as is. You know, we have some rakes that come in there that are 50 to 60 feet long between a truck and a trailer. And there's just no way to do it without two entries, in my opinion. Good points.
So that kind of truck can maneuver with where you have the parking?
Currently,
Well, no, the new parking, will the trucks
yes,
be able to maneuver?
yes, because not every parking spot's going to be full at one time. I can tell you that because they're gonna be in work bays. But absolutely, where we have it now, we can get through there and snake from one entry around with truck and trailer to the next entry as an entry exit. That's correct.
I don't see it, I don't see how you could do that with proposed parking. If you,
Well, Wayne is the engineer.
Well, the proposed parking is based on your ordinance, again. He's been able to do. You know, the work, everything is there. This is showing that there's enough available parking on that property. For everything that happens there in a full, it's the full team, everybody there all at once. That's what that's based on. So what Wade is saying is not everybody is there all at once. There might be, you know, the electrician might have guys out.
Yeah, we may have vehicles in each work bay, you know, each business has so many work bays. So those vehicles will be in a work bay, they will not be in a parking spot at all times, you know, how many parking spots is it? Wait,
33.
33. So we're not going to have, my point is, we're not gonna have 33 vehicles parked in all those parking spaces and then, you know, have things coming and going. It's just not the way we operate. I mean, it's, you know, some things are gonna be there at certain times and other times they're not. So when a job's completed, it'll get put in a parking spot until it gets picked up.
So it's shown accordingly to meet the ordinance, to meet the numbers. But what Wade is saying is that if he's got to maneuver a larger rig in there, he's gonna shovel cars.
Absolutely. We do it now.
Max,
So are you probably not gonna stripe it? And it'll just be vehicle storage
I would
that.
hope not to.
Is it required when you stripe it?
If I have to, I will, but I would hope not to.
In an industrial area, I don't think, I wouldn't, you know, it's not that big of a deal in an
Yes,
industrial area.
because he's demonstrated here that he can get the required number of parking spaces.
Yeah.
Even though it may seem a little impractical the way it's laid out.
Well, it's totally practical the way it's laid out.
But in addition, I'll bet you dollars to donuts, there will be cars parked within the 50-foot.
There were the other day when I was there.
There always are. I'm there twice a year to get my car detailed, so
Yeah.
there always are. But he can't show any there to meet the ordinance.
Correct.
But as a practical matter, there's a tremendous amount of parking space there.
We can't encourage you.
Pardon?
So we can't encourage it.
No,
'cause
I'm
we
not,
cannot
I'm not
comply.
encouraging it, I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's, as a practical matter, if he paves all of that. We could start doing football games again at the old stadium.
I don't think we were, I think the analysis was that we weren't necessarily concerned about the two access points. But the ordinance says that drive approaches in a commercial industrial area, the maximum is 24 feet wide
Well, I have another question about that though, that just makes it non-conforming from today.
today.
So there's so much about this property that is non-conforming,
But there,
and all he's trying to do is pave it.
Yeah.
So,
but when you pave, you bring things into conformity. That's how we do
but
it.
we can't bring setbacks into.
No, but
It's an improvement to the property, so we're saying you have to.
Yeah, I mean,
Them up to current code.
yeah, but it's impossible to bring this entire site plan up to code. In that regard. So the question is, how do we deal with that? But he just wants to pave it, I support that, but he can't bring everything up to code.
well, we don't expect them to move the buildings because those are non-conforming, they're in the setback.
Well,
But, you know, technically. You can have two entrances, but the zoning code says commercial and industrial. Access points need to be 24 feet wide. You got one that's 50 and the other one's at 33. And you're improving the lot, so this is the opportunity that you meet some of the code standards.
So, but is the entrances and the exits, is that per property or per business? Cause there are multiple businesses at this site.
Yeah, but it's I mean, if like fast food restaurants, McDonald's has two. Panera has two. I mean, there's a lot of businesses in town that have two entries. That's not the issue here. The issue here is we just point out that the two driveway aprons exceed the code. This would be a good time to at least get that to comply with the code, understanding that the building that fronts onto Standish is non-conforming and there's not much we can do about it. So that's,
Is that meaning that you would have to close off the garage door entry facing Standish Avenue?
no, we're just talking about the driveways.
That is the
No,
driveway.
That is the
That is the
driveway.
curb cut.
The
Well-
curb cut goes into that door that's right
Curb
here.
cut goes the entire way with this,
It's in the
that is in
pictures,
gray.
you can see.
Yeah, what we looked at was the 33 feet on the south side of the building. No, that one. That distance there and then 50 feet to the north.
Right, so
So there could be a curb break
Yeah,
at the corner of that building.
correct, yes.
you have a door here
Yes,
Okay, but
to go out this
Yeah.
door. If you put curb here, he won't be able to go out that door.
I'm saying he can do that because he's got a garage door. I'm talking about the 33 feet below that.
This hole, closing this hole.
No, I'm not saying closing it. I'm saying just reducing it to 24 feet.
so will there be like a median
One way.
or?
So you'll have 24 feet, then a space, then a curb cut again for the garage door.
We could, or the curb cut and then 24 feet and then the curb cut would be to on the south property line in the easement area.
But I have another question about the easement. So first of all, Wade, do you own the property?
I do.
No. I was afraid maybe he was a tenant, we needed an owner's authorization. Do we need authorization on the
We
easement?
got a copy of the easement.
We got a copy of the easement, but do we have authorization
Well, the easement is authorization because the.
to allow them to pave it and improve it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they don't build on
As long as they don't build on it.
it. Rib,
Well, I think it was stated that, you know, the applicant didn't really want to pave the parking back there, but would prefer to leave it gravel, so what in the scope of work is triggering a site plan review?
The fact that he has to build a 33 car parking lot. And building a parking lot requires in a commercial area site plan.
What's requiring him to build this parking? Is he changing the business or expanding the building, or,
They came in with a pavement plan.
but I thought I heard.
Wade,
Wayne say that they didn't really want to pave the back.
No, just that back corner, this corner. Right, this triangle right here.
but you have to in order to meet the 33 space.
Yeah, the point I was making is that we're doing a lot of things to bring it up into compliance, to be this was non-conforming gravel. He did not want to pave that, but he has agreed to bring it into conformance. He's agreed to show that he can meet all the parking requirements of 33 spots without being in a 50-foot setback. He's coming into conformance, even though nobody else on that, I shouldn't say nobody, that's absolute. But if you, like, again, you don't even have to do it with a drive-by, you can do it right from Google Earth. Or Street View, there's all kinds of that. Well, we're just asking that these curb cuts, in the manner that the business is being used, be allowed to remain. Because the building is actually only 1 foot off the right of way, it's 7 foot off the sidewalk, but 1 foot off the right of way. So it's tight. So we want to have that movable space to make these turning movements. And if you, like I said, I think if you try to apply that standard up and down your street, you be impossible.
So the applicant wants to pave part of the existing gravel, and that's what's triggering a site plan review?
No, what triggers he needs 33 parking spaces.
Well,
Okay, and
why is that being required?
but a
If
parking
he's
space
existing
needs to be
now,
paved.
He wants to pave part of the.
He needs 33 parking spaces. And according to the ordinance, a parking space needs to be a hard surface. So it requires him to pave more of the lot in order to meet his 33 parking
But
stalls.
but what change is happening to the property that requires it to be paved?
In ordinance, and Lisa pointed that out, that
This is like,
if you remove parking lot material to replace it with new parking lot material, that triggers site plan review process.
so just to repave.
Just to repave.
existing pavement?
That's the only way that we can get, the city can get parking lots into conformance is when they start repaving and reconstruction. That's the trigger that the city then has to make sure that the parking lots then are brought up to conformance.
So just so I'm clear, the reason that we need 33 spots is because of the ordinance, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
correct.
So, because we're open, like I said, that back 40 triangle there, the awkward, yeah, over there, we're hoping to, I mean, we were hoping to leave that gravel as it is now. But if we have to pave it to meet the parking spots in this awkward setup, then I'm open to doing that.
The ordinance requires that,
That's fine.
because it's a combination of
Okay.
number of employees and square footage of facility.
Sure.
The other part of it is the way the current code is set up, which we've talked about in the zoning committee.
Yeah.
There is no waiver allowed by the planning commission. It's a set number. Whatever that number is, that's the number. There's no opportunity for the planning commission based on circumstances under the current code to say, we recognize that we don't need 33. We don't.
33 is what we need, and in order to get 33, he has to pave the part that he doesn't need to pave. Okay, and he's willing to do that. But what he really wants from us is to allow the same curb cuts if possible.
That's a planning commission decision.
And we also have latitude, in exchange for that, to maybe ask for a little landscape.
Correct. But there's not much site available
Yeah, this is,
for
we're
landscape.
trying to make this happen with very often.
It's
very often.
It's super odd.
Yeah.
This is actually, the building, this was, to be correct on here, was 7 feet up in the right of way, this is actually about 1 foot.
Yeah, but it's 7 feet from the sidewalk.
So that would be
That-
required
that-
you to put landscape in the
That's
right
it.
of way.
Rest of the site is just it's all
Well, people
hardscape.
do that all the time, so I don't think that would be an issue.
Rightfully or like accidentally.
Well, no, people plant in the right of way.
Yeah.
Right.
And the guy next door, if I'm not mistaken, is
Whatever that goes
a
up the
landscaper.
curb.
So you got a landscaper that's your neighbor.
He's done a nice job at that part.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Landscape, you consider that bushes, grass, all of the above.
Yeah, bushes, grass, yeah.
Yeah, a few roaches there.
Yeah.
Nice. The other thing that seems logical to me is since the building is where it is. And it screens a portion of that 50-foot parking setback anyway. It seems logical to me to allow parking behind the building within the L-shaped area there.
That would be our problem. That's when we put that, that's where originally had the accessible, the handicap spots were here, and then 2 more. And then actually 1 here that was staging for this garage door, but.
But the setback doesn't allow.
I know, but because the building is there and it's a non-conforming situation, it seems logical to me to allow parking behind the building, maybe not that one that's in front of the building
here,
out there,
here.
but yeah, the ones behind.
Well, then that would less, remove the awkwardness of
That
things.
that
then.
would allow the back to be cleaned up there and make it more usable back there.
But what we're left with is, do we abide by the orders, do we go with logic?
Well, I think you can mix both.
I think what Rick is saying is you already have a non-conforming use.
Right,
Yes.
And the ordinance allows you to maintain, it doesn't allow you to expand the non-conformity, but the building is not expanding,
right.
Nor is the curb cut.
nor is the curb cut, but I agree with Rick. Cause when we looked at it, I thought, well, that put 4 spaces behind the building to get rid of the spaces up in that weird corner.
We had that was plan A.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fine, so the point, we're talking about here is that. What Wade wants to do work on his property, we've met the ordinance in all but one, and even the city engineer indicated that the width. In his comments about detention, he felt the widths were acceptable for based on what was going on, so. I mean, we could circle around, and that's really the only thing, because we've been able to demonstrate that we can get.
I think the other issue that we can talk about, okay, and I don't have my zoning code in front of me, but how many stalls are in the two buildings?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's 9 doors, right, and, you know, when we were talking work bays with Lisa, you know, that the bigger building, towards Standish there. You know, there's 4 doors on that building, but there's actually 5 work bays, because that's what we can fit in the building.
Double this way, right?
That's correct. So yes, there's 9 stalls,
9 doors.
9 doors, there's 9 doors and slightly more work bays,
Yeah, 11, so.
yeah.
So I'll just finish real quick and then, I think, oh, the landscaping, yeah, that's tight, just wanted to clarify that it's only about a foot up the right of way. And then the parking in the north, we talked about why that's the way it is. This is snow storage, you know, to be able to put some stuff there with that triangle we're using. And then lastly, the existing sidewalk. You know, again, we just like to keep it as it is, if at all possible. So that's. Any comments? Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions? No way. All right, bring it back to the planning commission. So Matt Miller, PE, city engineer, did say, I feel their continued use is talking about the curb cuts are existing should be allowed. I think it's appropriate to allow both driveways to remain. I like Carolyn's idea that you would put in a drive for the Standish Avenue door. And then maybe, close up the southern entrance to the 24 feet.
Minimize it, I did a quick, thing.
Yeah, and then we'd have much more green space, which would be lovely.
So you could just create a green lawn space on the other side of the door, and then we have a new curb cut off the corner of that building.
So if you did that, would that make that area, would it qualify for the 24 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a really fair solution. Matt?
I agree, but isn't the ordinance written so it's only allows 2 24-foot curb cuts?
Right.
And you're creating 3
No,
That's a-
well, I guess, But-
inlets,
that's one of those where,
it's conditional. And then you're
Well,
blocking
it would
off
be
that
an
existing
improvement over the
door.
existing.
Be an improvement over the existing.
I know, yeah,
Would be minimizing our overall,
Yes,
the expanse of.
would provide landscaping opportunities.
yeah, that area, because of the new apartment complex. That area needs to be cleaned up, so any opportunity we can have to improve with landscaping. Putting in compliance curb cut. That's all things we need to do to improve that area. So with Carolyn's, then number 1 south would be in compliance, correct? John?
yes,
All right, and then. Since they have that turn to get into the building on the north entrance, where it has to make a sharp left turn to get in. It seems like leaving that 33 feet
that's 50,
might make the property more functional.
it's 50. The north
It's
one is-
50?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Does it need to be 50?
The ordinance says 24, but it's 50 right now.
Right, but I mean, practically speaking, it doesn't need to be 50.
Well,
The owner is saying yes, very good.
but typically, commercial and industrial curb cuts on new construction projects are 24 feet. And that's
Which allows for a big
two-way.
truck.
Well, I think if they. Stuck with the opening. On the north side. And then went in. 25 feet, they'd be able to make that that sharp left turn. Does that make sense to everybody?
No.
All right,
I mean, if I could just make a
I
point,
think
it's
they have-
hypothetical.
I think they have-
Well, I can get some turning radius. But
The one positive is.
It's
already
hypothetically
across the
being new.
street has a driveway,
Yeah.
so you're like,
okay,
semi could go in and then. they
Okay.
use both sides.
Take a look at page
Right.
2. Page 2 is a picture of that north driveway. You can see that it's very long.
yeah,
And, but you can see the rationale for it is, to some degree, is you got the garage door in the yellowish building. And then to the far left, you can see the green building, which has another garage door. So, I can see the practicality for it, but I just want to point out that, and I agree with you, Madam Chair, that with the investment that's going on further north with the Maple Block, we should make every attempt to try to enhance these properties on that corridor. So according to when we did the plan review, I guess maybe an option for the PC would be to take a look at would be that on the site plan, if you leave the curb cut the way that's on the drawing, but then in some of this area over here, make that into a landscape area. It's kind of like that already. It's got grass there now. And they're recommending on paving. I don't see a need to really pave it. Maybe it's an opportunity to enhance it with some more landscaping that you're gonna do on the other part of the site to really give it a little bit of a more of a curb appeal.
That would help a lot.
So, since we're not gonna, the current plan does not allow a car to be parked in front of that garage like was originally proposed.
mhm,
That fence there is, you can see it from the photo, the fence it's not in good condition, so that.
Unsightly.
Thank you, unsightly, but that adds to the situation, but,
That's not peace.
no, I wouldn't.
No.
We just said it's still.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It's still ugly, but it's fun.
Yeah. But that would be my suggestion. If you wanna leave, the curb cut seems to make some sense because of all of the garage doors in that location, but there is an opportunity to kind of clean it up a little bit, put some landscaping on that one area, which would match then on the south side of the building that
Right.
Carolyn's proposing.
Yeah.
right, and there would be no parking.
No
allowed
parking there.
So basically, you would do like a driveway cut going into this garage.
Yeah.
And then that would. I'm not sure how that would work,
Do you
but
want to use the red pen to show her over
We
there?
maintain the existing north curb cut. Because it looks like the
Right.
asphalt originally probably went straight back to the building and it's just deteriorating over time and falling into the gravel.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I think you're saying we maintain that. And take the asphalt to an edge that goes straight back to that door, yeah. With that green to the right.
Yeah,
I don't have a here.
I have a ruler with me and I'm not that good of a designer, but
I thought you would cut into where the yellow building is and then you jog over to the door,
Like
so
this,
you could still
right here.
maintain.
you got the garage door here. Here's the garage door. Is right here.
Uh-huh.
You have an opportunity basically to do something that's kind of like that, right? Where you can fill that in with landscaping and still provide a wider access into the lot.
So
Just,
not,
John, before you
we
go,
wouldn't be. Short, or how would you say it, making it less wide.
well, you would
It would
if,
kind of be
you
in the
would
ground.
if you filled in this.
No, we're not doing it.
Huh?
No, I'm just
Leave
saying,
this 50 foot?
Leave the curb cut the same.
if you look on the drawing,
Yeah.
the photo, this is already.
Oh,
garage.
no, I'm talking about on this end of the,
Oh, we keep it the same way.
to keep it 50 feet.
Yeah. But just
So,
fill
because
this-
what I'm saying is you wanted to conform it 24 feet, you put that in.
No, we have to recognize, we have to have a turn movement in here. In one
Yes.
and two. And I can see that, the 24 may not work. Because of these two opposing garage doors,
Right,
but there's an opportunity to clean it up and install some.
and then down here, You'd maintain the curb cut for this door
And then-
that's here,
Then,
although that door's not shown on
but then
this.
you take a look at Carolyn's drawing. how
Right.
she's got
So you've got plantings here,
There and there.
and you could do something here too, if you want, so. You have any extra bushes in your yard if you wanna plant that?
All right. So I think we're giving you enough ground to make your radius based on it.
The curb cut would remain the same, or
Yeah, it actually would. So this would stay the width.
Yeah, the curb cut that's shown on page 2, the photo. I'm not recommending that it change. I'm just, or on page, yeah, on the second page. It's just the way that the curb cut is set up. You've got this opportunity here to kind of clean it up a little bit. And,
All right, and then, we think it's a good idea to put parking next to this building in the L shape, and that could be handicap, so it's close to the building.
But since he's meeting the requirement with the other outlined spots, we don't need to address that, he can just do it.
Well, no, I mean, it's not in compliance, so I think we need to give.
But there are no lines there. in
But
compliance.
it'll need to have like marked handicap.
yes,
Mhm.
I think that it's fine, I mean, there are, I don't know if there's zone residential, but across the street and to the north, there are 2. Places where people obviously live, and I feel like the building and its location is screening that parking. Right behind it, and then the allow stuff, I think it should be.
Usable.
allow this non-conforming condition.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay,
I've got modify the south driveway to 24 feet with additional landscaping adjacent to the building. And then I've got landscaping along the north property line.
remove parking space,
Uh,
or expect the parking needs.
yeah, landscaping along the north property line and, maintaining the green space that's currently showing on the photo.
Mhm.
And then, basically just leave the balance the way that it is.
Okay. I'll take a motion.
Carolyn?
Carolyn,
I'll make a motion to, approve the site, I'm sorry, I'm just going back to our language here. Approve the proposal to construct a parking lot on the property located at 1702 Standish Avenue. With the outlined amendments that John just spoke of.
Yeah, and then can you just add one other condition that, I know Wayne will make the adjustments on the plan, but that the plan gets resubmitted to the city planner for review prior to the chairman signing off on the plan.
okay,
Could you read those again? Those.
Number 1 is modify the south driveway to 24 feet with additional landscaping adjacent to the building. Number 2 is landscaping along the north property line, maintaining the current green space, but kind of cleaning that up with landscaping. And then the third one was when you get the plans revised, submit them back to Lisa. Lisa and I'll review them to make sure those conditions are met. And then we'll send them over to Cynthia to have her sign it.
We forgot about lighting.
Yeah.
well, hold on, before we do that, the drive that we're going to allow into. This one.
Yeah.
That's gonna have curb,
That-
and then this is gonna be landscape
Correct.
to the driveway.
Right.
So does that need to be included in it?
I think we're just maintaining that curb cut into that garage anyway. So no, it doesn't have to.
But is it gonna get, as Carolyn
Yeah,
showed?
That's the,
landscaping?
yes, it says with additional landscaping adjacent to the
Okay.
building.
Alright. So now, lighting,
They didn't submit photometrics, in some
do we
industrial,
have lighting there now? How much, 2 lights?
2 large.
yeah, they have miles of utility poles.
It matches the street lighting, the same fixtures as the ones.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing's with
You can see it on the photograph, there's a light on a DTE, like a standard consumer's light.
Oh, yeah,
Pole. So,
well. We don't have our new lighting.
we don't have the new
so-
lighting yet.
So you get out of that one. For now.
You come back,
I do have a question about the parking spacing. Now, are you saying that the area, the little nook on the building right up at the right of way should be considered for 4 to 5 spaces right there
In the nook, yeah.
in the nook? So can we like not pave a little bit in those really awkward spots in the back corner there?
Sure.
I don't care.
I
Like,
mean, I'd
Yeah.
rather see less paving.
yeah, cause it added to the drainage, everything. So if we were to say, what we could fit here, we could knock off there, maybe
Yeah.
square this up.
Yes,
Right,
Not pave that.
all right.
right, but could it become grass?
Well, he still uses it.
If
For
you give them
staging.
Trailers.
He
that's
stages
better.
like,
But
yeah, he still
And if
uses
it's
it.
gravel, it's not a drainage.
it's currently ground.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's way back there, nobody sees it.
Mhm.
Right.
how much does it cost to use the planting grid that you can drive on, that grass can grow through?
If,
It's gravel.
I'd rather just
Yeah,
leave,
for
just
the
leave it,
situation.
just leave it gravel.
Untouched.
Untouched. Yeah.
Because it functions well right now and it's kind of like the back 40, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You put it,
It's not like weeds growing through and.
No,
no, it's got, yeah.
pretty compacted.
The Wade's business is to make cars beautiful, and so mud puddles are not conducive to that. So he does the best he can to keep the.
It's been a long time of dust and dirt, and
Yeah.
trust me, we're over it.
All right, is that complete?
Yeah, that's complete.
Want me to re-say it or?
I just have a motion. I don't have a support.
Right, but
Yeah.
is she finished and to your
You
satisfaction?
finished? Okay.
Okay, so Carolyn makes the motion. I
Support.
Charlie makes the second. And roll call,
Detmer,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Meridian,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Robson,
yes,
Smith,
Yes.
Wilmot.
Yes.
Carries.
all right, well,
The. Yeah, we're good.
I think we. Seems like it's a good compromise.
Yeah, appreciate that.
When you get your plans done, Wade, send them over to Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Wade wants to know, once they land in Lisa's hands and she approves that they meet the conditions of tonight, then Wade only has essentially well, he'll have to get a curb cut permit now, see, he's just wondering what else he has to do with the planning.
Zoning permit,
He'll get the zoning permit as.
and then a curb permit will come from the
We're
engineer.
we're just going over timeframes. because
Oh,
We're
okay.
trying to make this happen this year.
Oh, that timeframe's not gonna be this year. We can pretty fast. As soon as you get us the plans, we'll walk it through.
Okay, so he can tell his contractor. he's-
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Alright,
I
yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
So the lighting, we just let that go, right?
Yeah. Right now it's conformal.
Right, okay, good.
Once the ordinance goes through, is it gonna have to change or not conforming, just only when change?
Only one
Only
changes,
when it changes.
Same rules.
Yeah,
if the new lighting ordinance gets approved.
all right. Now, all right, now we'll take a little breather. And we have a new member, Red Smith. And I want to thank Rick and Carolyn for re-upping, and so they are serving a 3-year term. And I just wanted everybody in the room to remember that when your term ends after 3 years, you need to reapply. So you need to get in that form that's online if you want to continue serving. So just a friendly reminder about that for future. And if you want to know how long you've been on, it's on the website. Go under planning commission and then all of our names are there and it tells when we were, when our term started and when it'll end. So, okay, so. Reg, do you know everybody?
I don't think so.
Okay,
John Michael the city planner.
Right. so you want to tell me more about yourself?
Not really.
We
I think the less people know, the better off.
He's a very good city planner and I love working.
And he lives
with him.
basically next door.
Yeah,
He doesn't want anyone to know.
but,
I said he doesn't want anyone to
I
know.
mean, it's-
so Max,
I'm Max Freed, registered architect. That's, I work for Spicer Group out of Traverse City and own my own, firm here in the city of Petoskey, so. Nice to meet you. Likewise.
so Reg,
I'm Reg Smith, I was born and raised in Petoskey. Up until recently, I was part of the Stafford's ownership group, that had the Perry Hotel, the Bayview Inn. Crooked River Lodge, the Weather Vane in Charlevoix and the Pier in Harbor Springs, we recently sold that. Find myself with all this time now.
well, you know what? You look so relaxed. And I think you look less old. So I think it's doing
Maybe it was a
good.
good time to sell. It's a tough business to be in right now. so.
Oh, yeah.
But that's my background was, I was primarily running the Perry Hotel for our family business.
Charlie Wilmot, been here since 2013 in Petoskey. Member of the planning commission, this is the 4th year. And the apparent city council person for Ward 2, assuming nobody does an active write-in campaign on November 4th.
Right. Carolyn,
I'm Carolyn Detmer. I was born here in Petoskey and raised, and I live on Michigan Street and I have a home office. I do building design. And my husband works for American Students and I have an 11th grader at the high school. And I've been on the planning commission for 5 years.
right, and he's a ski pro, right?
Right, he's a skier, yes,
Yeah.
second in the state for GS and third for slalom.
Wow.
Last year, so,
Yeah, and he went all the way to Colorado and did,
yeah, this
Stuff
year
too.
before, yeah,
yeah.
went to Noriums and, Quebec. Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
year he's gonna do fits and.
So,
Speed racing.
so we don't always have her here because she's busy.
Traveler, and this winter he's gonna be doing FIS, which is the super feeder to the Olympics.
Mhm.
It's to ski Division 1 in college, so.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And Rick,
Well, I know Reg, I've known Reg for quite a few years, he's roast beef slicer extraordinaire.
lots of claim to fame. Cynthia Lynn Robson, we know each other.
Yeah.
So lots of city time.
Yeah, I guess I didn't mention I was on the downtown management board for a number of years.
A long
Was
time.
the chair for 2, 3, 4 years. I think.
Are you? Rich?
I'm Rich Moravian. I've been in the area for about a little over 20 years. And on the planning commission for 5 years, 6 years.
At least.
6 years now.
Well, it's probably 6 years, because you just, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a retired orthotist and I just wanted to get involved in what's going on in the city.
And then behind me, you know Ted,
I do.
he's on our zoning ordinance committee. Rewriting that, so he's a big part of what we're working on right now.
I did take the time to kind of review the videos and
Mhm.
things going on, so. Hopefully I'll come up to speed pretty quickly.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes.
Very much so. All right, the next new business is item 6B, election of officers. So it didn't end up in our packet, but Lisa May printed the, so you probably have a sheet in front of you that describes it. So this is for the election of officers. Pursuant to planning commission bylaws, officers are elected annually. Oh, we can wait.
I said, if he leaves the room now, I'm gonna get elected.
Long time there.
Yeah. What we always used to do in family reunion, wait till he left the room.
Well, at least you have family reunions. Well, I think this went pretty good. So. Compromise on the Standish Avenue.
But it doesn't illustrate how you know, you design the zoning ordinance. But especially with historic properties, you have unintended consequences and. You know, there needs to be some flexibility built into the process to accommodate for that.
And it's a win-win, particularly you can, you know, score some improvements, which we certainly did. Relative to
We did,
property.
we did.
So what are all the, I know there's the detailing and the window tinting and. There's
And
something,
ceramic
it's ceramic coating.
coating. And then apparently there's an independent business that does upholstery
Upholstery and sewing.
and so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So is that all for cars and vehicles?
No,
Including
not
the sewing?
necessarily. No, you can do other upholstery there.
Both cushions and such.
And
I didn't-
I would imagine.
I didn't want to say anything, you know, at the time, but there are a lot of signs there. But the nature of the number of businesses that are there, they need a number of signs, but if we look at conformance, it's probably not conforming to the sign code at all.
Well, would that have been appropriate to? Get
Signs are,
parking?
no, they're already there.
Yeah. All right, we can get back to work here.
Sorry.
You're the new.
You're the new chair.
Oh, no.
All right, so I'm gonna read the duties of the chairperson. The chair shall preside at all meetings, appointment committees, and perform such duties as may be delegated by the commission or city council. The chair may establish committees when commission membership is needed and shall have the right to appoint new committee members at any time to fill a vacancy. And then the vice chairperson, secretary, the vice chairperson, secretary shall act in the capacity of the chairperson in his or her absence, and shall serve as a liaison between the commission and the designated staff member responsible for the execution of documents in the name of the commission. So current officers, I'm the chair and Rick is the vice chair. Right. So, I have a little form for how we proceed, and it's based on the, Robert's Rules of Order and the process currently used for the Petoskey Board of Conventions City Council candidate nominations. This format is being suggested because the regular election procedure is not specified in the bylaws. So the suggested candidate selection rules are chair opens the floor for nominations. A person can nominate themselves, any board member can nominate another board member. Nominations for officers do not need a required second. A member can decline the nomination during the nomination process. Not hearing any further nominations, the chair will declare the nominations closed after confirming there are no more nominations forthcoming. And then the suggested voting procedure is if the candidate for office is unopposed, a simple voice vote is allowed. If there's more than one candidate for an office, it will be a ballot vote. If in the first ballot process, no one has a majority, we repeat the voting until one candidate receives the majority of votes. The office is filled when one candidate receives the majority of votes. Okay, any questions?
There's two people missing.
That's okay.
Still,
Those could be two potential candidates, right?
Well,
there, but we still have a quorum.
yeah, it.
Cynthia doesn't want to step out.
Well, I am very willing to continue serving.
Well, that was my, how about you? You willing?
I'm willing to, yeah, but I don't have any claim on this for sure.
Right.
Basically, my duties are to review the minutes each month and
Right.
make sure that they accurately reflect what our discussion was.
Mhm.
So that's the biggest.
Can you do that? Where, you'll get a, if you think something's missing, you'll get a call.
All right, so I'm gonna open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Cynthia Lynn Robinson as chairperson.
Robson,
Sorry.
that's okay,
And
it doesn't.
No, I was thinking too fast and, that's
Well, wait, you do them one at a time,
some
so,
of the time?
yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm not,
thank you.
yes.
Any other nominations for chair? All right, there's no other nominations for chair, surprise. So all in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody voted aye. All right, then we move on to the vice chair, and I'll nominate the vice chair, Rick. And any other nominations?
Please.
All right, so I'll close that nomination. Everybody in favor of Rick?
Aye.
That was easy.
We're back to work.
They're off.
Yeah.
Made me real nervous. They said something.
I told you not to leave the room.
Yeah. Okay. All right, okay. Ed, you wanna come on up? We are. Uh-oh. I lost my agenda.
I have plenty here.
Oh, here we go. All right, moving on to zoning ordinance updates 7A, Article 6, site development standards. So this is in your packet. So what did you want to do tonight?
Well, we wanted the PC to take a look at it to see if they had any questions, concerns, potential revisions, just to give you those that are not on the committee kind of an update. The zoning committee spent 6 meetings on Article 6. This was the site development standards, includes parking, anything that has to do with site development is included in this one chapter. So it was pretty extensive, and it's most of the stuff that we talked about this evening relative to the site plan would fall under Article 6. So that's why we went through it in great detail, and thought the committee did a really nice job of thoroughly vetting it. The one thing that we did do, I think we talked about it at the last meeting, was that when we got to the exterior lighting component of Article 6, we decided to take that out altogether from the zoning code, put that in the city code like the signage sign ordinance. And the zoning committee has been working on that as well. So,
And that should be ready for review real soon.
yeah, I sent it today to Shane to ask the manager if he'd pass it on to the city attorney.
Oh, very good.
Okay. So for those that are not on the committee, I think everybody here on this side is all on the committee. We did submit the lighting ordinance to the Dark Sky Association for review. They gave us an initial review. The committee got together, we made some additional tweaks to it, we submitted it for a second review. And we got back notification, I think it was either Friday or Monday, that if the ordinance is passed based on the latest revision, it would be certified by Dark Sky as a dark sky ordinance. It would be the first one in the country, actually.
Yeah.
We'd be the first city to be recognized as a dark sky lighting.
Yeah,
So,
that would be a proud moment.
it would be. So I sent it to the manager to ask if Laura would take a look at it. I figured I'd rather, by the time it gets to city council, I'd rather have it that it went through planning commission, it went through dark sky review, and it went through city attorney.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that hopefully we'll have the lighting ordinance on the next planning commission agenda for the month of October.
Okay.
But let's get into Article 6.
So,
Yeah, do you want to highlight any changes? I mean, I think we updated and made some good changes on the landscaping section, Cynthia. Rooftop decks were previously not allowed and they are, so.
Yeah.
That's there.
in commercial districts.
Yeah. And I think we might have tweaked the noise ordinance a little bit.
We
Yes.
did.
Those are some things that came to mind.
And then we tried to standardize the parking requirements to make them more user friendly.
Right.
So the parking requirements have changed from what was currently in the ordinance. Ted is correct. We also have bicycle parking in here
Right.
where we give folks a break on regular parking, depending on how much off bicycle parking. We've got a provision on non-motorized transportation. We did do quite a bit on the landscaping in terms of consolidating. What we found, which was interesting, in the current zoning code, a lot of the landscaping is only relative to the B3 district. If I'm not mistaken. And it doesn't apply to some of the other districts in the community. So that was one of the big changes, that the landscaping provisions are now part of the site design standards for all districts. So we made that change. Stormwater. We've got stormwater management in here. And we did make, as Ted mentioned, we did refine the noise levels to conform with some of the acceptable standards. And we did include a section on building scale, mass and design, and rooftop decks, which we didn't have before, and then wall screening. So we pretty much covered under section, Article 6 includes everything that somebody would need to incorporate into their site plan. All in one chapter, not spread throughout the entire code. So,
But in addition, the noise, for instance, applies generally, not just to site plan.
oh yeah, generally throughout this, yeah, yes,
It becomes almost a police one.
yeah.
So these, everything in here are the standards we would use when you're doing site plan review and deciding whether it's, you know, up to par for our ordinance.
Or if somebody came in, for example, wanted to put a rooftop deck in the downtown, they don't have to go through site plan review, but they have to meet these code requirements. Kind of like what Lisa does now.
Yeah, so.
She evaluates it before she goes
Also,
on.
version, this site plan.
Yeah.
But again, the rooftop deck only applies to commercial, it
Right.
does not apply to residential.
That's correct.
So, say you have a residence that you've designed the roof lines to a point where there is no visible guardrail. It's almost the roofing comes up and creates the guardrail in and of itself, so you're in the parapet. There's no, it wouldn't change the neighborhood characteristic, but it allows you to still occupy.
Outside,
Yeah.
like an airing deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what, that's considered a roof
That,
deck though.
that's an airing deck.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
But
what
like
kind
a
of-
widow's wall.
Airing deck, under, you guys know what it means. I mean, it's like on the second floor of a building, you may have a door with a deck.
Mhm.
That's not a roof, that's just that's part of the building component. A rooftop deck is, in the downtown would be literally
Structure.
on the roof. On roof.
But you said residential, this does not apply to.
Right, this is strictly.
But he's wondering if in residential, could you have that?
Yeah,
Sure.
when we started this
Everybody
meeting,
knows how
the
it works.
commentary was it's not permitted, which I didn't notice that, so it made me go looking for it.
I think we did talk at the review committee that we didn't want to have rooftop decks in the residential area because of the potential for noise.
Yeah.
In lighting and everything else that would be a nuisance to maybe the adjacent property owners.
But right now, we don't have that.
We don't have that.
I can think of one property where the garage is a flat roof,
Yep.
and so. Yeah, it's on,
State Street, maybe down here, over here.
and
I think
there,
There's one over on.
I can't remember the streets, but anyway, so that roof, which is flat, is a deck.
Yeah,
But he doesn't seem out of place.
no. No,
So, oh, well, the house on the corner on Mitchell,
Yeah.
that,
All the way up the hill, people have rooftop decks.
yeah. Right.
Including
And that's
District
brand new.
4, so Ward 4.
Like
Off
accessory
of Lake,
structures.
off of Lake. You know, Williams and,
Sorry,
sorry,
accessory structures, so not.
Yeah.
not there.
well, yeah.
But that particular residence has a fire pit, an outdoor kitchen, and a hot tub. So,
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about on Mitchell and
the white, it's
Yeah.
historic,
it was this tour,
yeah.
I knew someone who lived there, it was a beautiful house. It's
Yeah,
really
it
changed.
still is.
Yeah.
The
And
ceilings are.
very different.
the neighbors who are next to it were massively impacted by that
Mhm.
rooftop venture. They changed their whole.
It's, I look down.
You know.
But again, this does not deal with residential.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah, how would you, in terms of parking, I think there was. I think we had things that we added that were just not there, I recall that.
yeah,
I think there was I think the review committee took an opportunity to try to make things more coherent and more consistent across lines for how we were considering, parking issues. We didn't change it dramatically. I didn't feel, did you, Charlie? In general,
No,
but we did make a lot of tweaks that were,
We did, like, for example, we did, Ted, you're right, under the general provisions of parking, we have things in there now where parking surfaces can be constructed with impervious or pervious hard surface materials.
right?
And we've got drainage where we're practical low impact drainage. We have snow storage is a requirement. Then we talked about parking duration, and then we took the driveway requirements, which were scattered in different parts of the existing ordinance, and brought them all together. So we have driveway requirements for 1 and 2 family residential, then we have ones for parking. And driveway requirements for parking for commercial. And then of course, the downtown is exempt from any off-street parking requirements. We have minimum and maximum. We would now refer to that as required parking. And we do have, like I said, we modified the spaces significantly based on updated parking requirements, depending on the type of land use. So,
John, did we put in latitude for the planning commission to take these more as, well, that there would be no ability to modify them? I thought we did.
we did.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kind of to Charlie's point, with the,
right.
It says the planning commission may, based on lot configuration, dimensional requirements, restrictions, and or neighborhood development characteristics, grant an increase or decrease in the required parking.
right.
What line are you on?
That would be line 128.
so that was kind of, I think, an attempt to, not to say, of course, you could go to the CPA. But it was ability to have some ability for the commission to.
Well, it would have been,
We
I
need to-
think it would have been a perfect example.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you,
That's what I wondered.
what's in here that would have helped us?
that right there would have.
Right there.
Yeah,
And the multiple uses in one
parking lot.
They could reduce it by 30% for each use.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, see, and I think the other part of it is where our current ordinance doesn't allow it, but this would give the planning commission the flexibility. When you deal with businesses like we did tonight, which has 9 parking bays,
Mhm.
we should be able to give them credit
Yes.
for the parking bay, because people, people are coming there to do business.
Mhm.
And then their car is moved into a parking bay.
The service bay.
Yeah, a service bay, so we should be able to give a property owner some credit
Yes.
for that,
Mhm.
which would then reduce the amount of pavement and therefore reduce the amount of stormwater.
Mhm.
Of course, the flip argument would be that the use may change. And the buildings are there, so right now they're kind of parking in buildings. But some of the calculations.
Yeah, but with the use change zoning permit, Lisa would recalculate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we'd have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trust me, she takes it down to the decimal point.
I appreciate this.
So that's Article 6. It's really all site development. This was like the last major article before we get into this, the zoning districts, which,
Yeah, John, would you, for Reg's benefit, also, if we kind of back up to 30,000 foot, tell him what we've done and where we're going with it and what the intent is once the planning commission looks at these sections.
we've got 14 new chapters in the zoning code. The planning commission started out with the easiest ones first, which were ones that are based on state statute, zoning board of appeals, severability and amendments, all that kind of stuff, the responsibilities of the zoning administrator. Then we went into the kind of the regulatory part of the ordinance, which was general conditions that apply throughout the city. We got that out of the way, and then we went into site design, site development. And then we also did overlay districts. So we kind of reversed engineered the zoning code, rather than start out with zoning districts and what the uses are in the districts. We took a look at the provisions of the code that really apply throughout town, regardless of what zoning district you're in, because the zoning districts are gonna be the really where the planning commission's really gotta roll up their sleeves, have a community conversation and get into the granular part of the zoning in terms of what districts do you want? What's gonna go in the districts and where the districts are gonna be geographically located in the city. So we saved the best till last, but we got a lot of the regulatory stuff out of the way.
So to back up just a little bit more than that, from the very beginning, I think most of us were under the impression that we were gonna work with the existing zoning ordinance and make modifications to it. But it became pretty apparent pretty quickly that we really had to start fresh and write a whole new zoning ordinance with a whole new table of contents, a whole new organization to it, something you could follow. As opposed to what you have now, which is if you're looking for something in the existing ordinance, you have to read all 80 pages of it or whatever in order to find it. So things changed along the way. It became a bigger project. And the whole thing was initiated, correct me if I'm wrong, by a couple of city council people who wanted the planning commission to address very specific changes in terms of setback and density in particular. And it's kind of grown since then.
Yeah, the current code was adopted in 1972, so it's 50 years old, and over the years, it's been amended and modified. And as Charlie mentioned, we actually had one developer that specifically called for a meeting with Lisa and I, because he said, I gave up on reviewing the ordinance. I need you guys to help explain what I can do with my property. So you have to be really, Lisa is probably the most familiar with the code because she works with it day to day, but it is kind of convoluted in some areas. Charlie's right, when we got into it was like, we're just gonna rewrite it. And
Because a lot of it was just simply not conforming to
Yeah.
today's Michigan standards.
So,
And some of the things we just. I can't remember. One of them was electric vehicle things. We just did that.
we just did that, yeah.
So that just got transferred
Transferred over.
because that's big.
So the original intent was to deliver to city council chapter by chapter for review and commentary. But we did that once and then we stopped.
Correct.
Could you explain that part of it?
The first 3 or 4 chapters that we sent over to council to get review and get their comments individually, I only received comments from one council person, and they really weren't specifically revisions. It was more or less concepts or policies that they thought we should include. So from that point on, it was decided by that we would just proceed at the committee level, at the planning commission level. And then when we got the full book put together, then we would make a consolidated presentation to council on what was all included and what we did. And that'll probably take a special meeting, a joint meeting between the planning commission and city council.
And John had sent, I think some chapters, to each individual, council member got, do have comments, and then there was a problem. Some of the problem was that they might comment individually, but they kind of have to act as a body.
Right.
So it wasn't that helpful because one council member could say, we really animated about something, but that doesn't, you don't know what the file is gonna say.
Right.
So.
And I got that impression on
Monday night.
Monday night.
I guess I should have been at that.
It was a
meeting.
it was a circus.
Oh, really?
I won't say anything more, I just.
I'm gonna have to tune in on
Once
that one.
once the planning commission finishes with its work, city council will start all
Well, yeah, you got.
For certainly, and I certainly don't say it's a bad thing, but one of the council members, Tina, who's represents me. Would have liked to have the old code and then this, if you change
a red line to
a
the.
line. And it makes sense on one level, and I like that idea. I wish it would have been a better ordinance we had, but it just had too much, right? It had too much stuff in different places. It had things missing.
You'd have to become an expert. to read that red line.
It wasn't gonna work well. And now you're,
That having been said, each one of the articles, as it goes to the website, has red lines attached to it.
It
If you-
does.
If you choose to go back and read them article by article, you can follow along. But that's not the current sentiment of
I think we had a spirit of idea, it's a big task, but as John goes forward and makes presentations that, and like, I tried to ask what were some of the highlights of site development standards tonight, that he's gonna, like, there's a few things that were brand new. So he's gonna tell people, these things are brand new, we made a few parking, so people can at least, if they wanna focus, you know, that's what a lot of people wanna know, what did you change, what was the,
That's exactly.
not did you change a period or an apostrophe or a
Well,
fee or something.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But if they,
Of course,
like,
in all
you're-
honesty, you have to say, well, we changed everything.
yeah,
well,
but if Charlie's right, if you go to the website, project website, it's got, it's got the meeting minutes, it's got the agendas, it's got every red line that we've done.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to spend the time, they can see all the work that the committee has done over the last year so far.
So there's a particular website for all that.
If you go to the city's website,
There's a link on the homepage.
on the homepage, it says zoning ordinance.
Mhm.
It'll take you to the project website and all of that stuff is there.
it's just
So you can see the other chapters that we finished. that he's
a lot,
talking about.
yeah.
There's a lot
They're all
there.
So when the chapters are brought to the PC,
It's after the zoning ordinance review committee has gone.
Right.
And we're making a recommendation. We are making a recommendation to you two guys. This is the way it should look, Henry.
no, but I guess what I'm asking is, so if there's any discussion that happens on that particular chapter at that time,
Yes.
and so hopefully we all, reach a consensus and then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it
But
works.
of course, this all precedes more of a public presentation. I mean, it's out there and
It's out there, yeah.
certainly a city council.
But absolutely, if you guys have commentary to integrate, changes to integrate that, we're listening.
Yeah.
We'd love to have that input.
There'll be a lot more involvement when we get to setbacks.
When, that was the decision that we
Yeah.
made was, when we get to the setbacks, density
Yeah,
and redistricting.
yeah.
The zoning ordinance review committee technically is now finished. The rest of it is up to the planning commission.
You'll
in entirety.
convene at the end when we do definitions.
Right.
But,
Right.
yeah, right now, I mean, from now on, it's the full board.
Yeah.
Gonna be working on this.
So that when the planning commission gets it, they know, when the council gets it, they know that the full planning commission has weighed in on those issues.
It would seem, again, based on Monday, that the parking requirements are gonna be a hot button for one or more individuals, I would say.
What parking issues did they discuss? Monday?
They don't want any. I'll tell you, the commentary of one council person was, look, private homeowners and private developers know what they need, just let them do what they need.
Yeah, that's
Way too vague.
Well,
But I'm just telling you,
Well,
I'm not
some
agreeing with that, I'm just
communities are
telling you
doing
what we're up against.
Right.
Some communities are.
I think
taking
that's a slight exaggeration, Charlie,
Slap.
but maybe only slight.
Parking is always a very contentious issue.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh.
it's the same attitude about density, it's the same attitude
be on
about
the
setbacks.
DMV and you want to deal with parking.
Yeah.
Same attitude about density, setbacks and redistricting. Now, voices will change in January, but
right.
there are still voices.
Well, it rolls us into our next topic.
Yeah.
Hearing
Which
more
is-
Voices.
Yeah, so
But hopefully the council will realize when there's some big changes, you know, redoing zoning districts. Maybe it's heights, maybe it's parking, that the public will weigh in too, so.
Yeah.
I'm always curious when some council members think it's so important what they think going into something, when their view should be, what does the city want?
This is why one of the things we have to do is make sure that the public engagement, because they will not have public engagement, they have 2 readings, period. Okay, they're not gonna have public hearings or charrettes or anything like
Yeah.
that, that's up to us.
and we are planning to do that.
We'll definitely have community open house, yeah, for sure. Once we get through chapters or articles 2 and 3, in terms of what districts we're gonna have and what uses. Yeah, we need to have a public open house.
John, can you just refresh me again? I look at this and you told us, like in terms of the noise section of site development standards. Why it's in a section that's says site development standards, but it really applies, it's a general. Kind of more of a general noise ordinance. We talked about a few of these things in this.
We do have noise in the general provisions, I believe. We also have in the general provisions, there's a reference to noise.
Okay,
Yeah,
Is the language consistent?
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
we crossed checked that. All right.
All right, so are we ready to move on to the question now?
Sure.
Next.
Okay.
I'm just reviewing it right now.
I'm glad you're not chair.
The,
Oh, like my
We want-
answer?
No.
You wanna go through it,
yeah,
Page by page.
page by page?
well, I want to go through it because, you know, the zoning committee kind of. We went through a couple of iterations of this, but, you know, this is. This is where the community starts weighing in on what they think are community characteristics and things they like and they don't like. So, yeah, I think it's important that we go through it.
So what we're looking for is if you have other things we should be paying attention to. If you think there's other issues that we should ask about, we want to hear about that. If you think a question is not clear, or you think you could glean more information if it was asked differently, we want to hear about that.
Or you don't understand why it's being asked.
Right. But I think number one is self-explanatory.
But the intent is to give us feedback so we can jump into this next round of what we need to do.
Correct.
Or figuring out new
Yes.
districts and what we're gonna.
I'd be interested to know, John, on question number one, are you gonna wait, if they fill in the third circle, are you gonna weight that differently?
No, if they fill in. If they indicate that they reside in Bay Harbor or they do not reside in the city. And they hit next, it takes them to the end of the survey and says, thank you very much for your.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it says, there's a line in there at the very end, I think that on the last page, it says that it reminds people that live in Bay Harbor
Oh,
that
yeah.
their zoning is regulated by Resort Township, not by the city.
Mhm.
And then for businesses, it
So that
says
basically, they don't get a vote.
they don't get the survey.
So John, just as you're saying that, it didn't strike me when we discussed this, but, you know, I know in some election campaigns, there were people who thought they were voting for certain people, and that they really thought they lived in the city of Petoskey. But they didn't, because they're in a Petoskey postal,
Zip code, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, so
I
they,
mean, just for what it's worth, there were people who are sure they live in the city of Petoskey who don't.
and that may happen, but I tried to glean the other ones out,
You think most people,
yeah.
at least they don't get what these lines are.
Like,
But they have to serve their percentage because they want to pay it.
They don't know what's tax.
Oh.
No,
You know, a lot of people.
like they might be in the Petoskey School District, I live in Petoskey.
Right. Right.
well, if you live, like, for example, I do work up in Redmond Township, now that's 10 miles north of Harbor Springs,
Right.
right? And their mailing address is Harbor Springs,
Oh.
so you're in Redmond Township out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and it's Harbor Springs, so, yeah. I get where you're going with the zip
Yeah,
code.
there will be some, but.
I have a correction to make then. I was born and raised in Springvale Township.
Oh.
Petoskey.
There you go.
Fire.
But you were always in the,
Sorry.
but you were always in the 49770 zip code, yeah. Yeah.
What's 616?
And question two is kind of are you a homeowner? We want to know year-round, seasonal, renter, business owner, etc. And then we want the age.
Again, are you gonna weight things differently as a result of this?
No, I kind of stay away. It allows me to, but I stay away from the weighting.
Okay.
I want to see what the raw numbers are.
So if you're a business owner in Petoskey.
Yeah.
Is there a way of, but you don't live in Petoskey? Don't we want,
They already got thrown out if they don't.
yeah, so they get, I mean, I would like to hear from the business owners that work in town.
Yeah, like the guy here tonight, I wonder where he lives.
Well, maybe there should be a way of somewhat bubble. Well, they would already have put down that they live in Petoskey earlier.
Well, I can do under number one, I can put,
Or I am a business owner, yeah,
You
or own a business,
select more than one in that number two?
so you can change them.
You could say business owner, and then you could have a second option, business owner, but not resident.
He's gonna add business owner to question number one.
yeah.
Okay.
In the city of Petoskey.
And
So number one would be I reside in the city of Petoskey. Number two, I own a business in the city of Petoskey.
yes,
Yeah, reside.
Or it would say I reside or own property or.
Yeah. I wouldn't say necessarily business, I own property,
Okay,
so.
so you can reside or you can
Yeah.
own property.
Well, that's.
Well, what if it's a
we would
lease, Conrad?
differentiate between residential.
Well, they're affected by zoning.
So
But you don't own the property.
Well,
Right,
Yeah,
the
business
owners, they
owners.
don't live in.
they don't own the property. But if you own a business and you're conducting it in the city of Petoskey, I'd like to hear from them.
sure.
To help,
So you could say, I reside in Pitt, I own property, I own a business.
I got the, I'll work it out.
Okay.
I got it going.
So do you need business owner then on question number two, since you've already established that? or-
No, I probably don't.
Unless at some point you were curious and wanted to run.
Crosstab,
I keep it.
okay, we can run a crosstab on it. Ages are based on the census stuff, that way I can compare
Mhm.
the age distribution on the survey to ACS to see what the matches up or not. Number 4 is how long have you lived in your neighborhood?
So I guess if you're a business owner, they just don't answer.
They
that.
don't answer.
I do have a question on the age thing, though, because some of the kids in that youth council are in high school, like, they're, under 18, like, and we might have what they want for their future with their community. Like, what they think of their neighborhood where they live now.
That's part of the master plan is to retain youth.
Less than, yeah.
Yeah.
12 to 18. or
Yeah,
something.
something, I think.
Okay,
I'd be curious to what the younger people think of.
Fills it out.
Yeah,
I'll put less than 18.
nobody does it, I don't know.
And on question number 4, why don't you add a fifth bubble that says not applicable?
Why would that not be that?
There might be a business owner, so
Oh, well, then how long have you?
it's not applicable, so
Okay.
at least, because he
Right.
just said, well, they won't fill anything. Well,
Yeah, then. it's-
Why they require you to fill everything in,
Right.
so we gotta give them something.
And again,
You might
you
have to do that with several. of these.
yes, like number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just put another book on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, number 5 is what ward, the number. The next page, there'll be a map, they select what ward they're,
Mhm.
Or,
Right, but
You know
we're-
what, going back to number 5. In addition to not applicable, that neighborhood, a lot of people aren't even gonna know, don't know. Can you put don't know
Oh, yeah,
here?
that's a good one, let's make it 6.
well, they should.
Well, they have a map.
They look at the map,
Yeah,
they can look where they live.
All right,
It's much easier to see and.
Yeah.
I guess we could give them a line, give them color, one color.
Yeah.
Okay, and then number 6,
You know, which zoning district you live in, I love your no fair looking it up.
yeah, no
That's
fair
very
looking
good.
it up, I wanted to.
You know, I have looked up mine and I forgot. Okay,
So then 7 is what do you find attractive about your neighborhood? This is comment boxes, type in as much as you want. Number 8 is what do you find unattractive? Number 9 is what could be done to improve the character of your neighborhood? And number 10 is there's something that you would like to do on your property that isn't allowed under our current zoning ordinance.
chickens.
you might get that.
Number 11 is characteristics. Please evaluate the following as it relates to your neighborhood. 3 choices, too much, about right, too little. We asked the square footage of homes, the height of homes, the house setback from the street, home landscaping, lighting levels at night, street trees, and on-street parking. Can anybody think of anything else?
I just wondered, I just, as I'm sitting here, I don't know how to say it, how close homes are,
Oh, right.
some sense of spacing, indirectly related. to density.
We have to keep it,
Yeah.
what can we do this short?
Distance
Spacing,
between
distance,
houses.
Well, this
distance between
says
houses.
house setback from.
Yeah, use the word setback.
Just like-
Yeah, but setback
Yeah, setback.
is from the street.
No, there's
So
setbacks on the side.
that's not setback from
Side yards.
next door neighbor.
But
Yeah.
I think something more,
No, it doesn't.
Spaces.
more people understand.
Spaces between.
The spaces between houses?
Yeah,
For the size of home, for the square footage, would it make more sense to ask lot area coverage?
To do
Or,
that?
Wait a minute, so for square footage?
yeah. It,
Isn't that
That's a
an addition
different-
not
that's a
blew
different-
up?
I don't know, I'm having a hard time with that because I would be more concerned with lot area coverage versus square footage.
I don't
Well,
think
ask both.
you
I
would,
think we asked.
you would, but I don't think most people would
No.
know what their lot area. I was surprised often when I look at my property and look at properties. It's, you probably do understand it better than most people, but
Maybe
Okay.
you'd say something like the size of the lot, because that sort of fits. a
Lot
Oh,
size.
we have that.
Lot size.
well,
I like lot coverage.
but it's,
Right.
do people know that?
House,
They're
building
two different-
footprint, the lot size.
You know, the house is sort of a house, but the lot size can vary.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put down space between houses, and I'll put down lot size. As,
That's good.
Oh, street trees, that's beautiful, I can
Yard.
see that.
Front of yard versus building.
You know, one of these concepts,
What did you say, just a minute, off streets? Trees?
no, it's a
Street,
street
you're
tree.
happy about
trees.
street trees.
Yes, that's a question.
All right, okay, John, sorry.
one of the concepts. I mean, this should also help to educate as well as collect
Mhm.
opinions, right? So one of the concepts, the most difficult concept, I think, for anybody to understand is gonna be density. And it's gonna be a hot button at the council.
Yeah.
So the question is, how and where can we ask a question to get some feedback on the
Well,
concept?
that's where the size of the lot could come in.
Well, that-
Because
In their
a
pictures.
small lot.
Well, yeah, but the pictures,
Number 12, yeah.
Yeah.
number 12 starts getting at density. What houses or,
Starts getting into density.
yeah, what housing type would be acceptable?
You know, I have a little beef with the pictures. Those are all, you know, fabulous places. And I've never seen a fourplex or whatever you call it, that looks that nice around here, a quad, yeah.
Like those townhouses, you mean, in the middle right?
He's talking about the,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
middle right,
But it does give you it does convey the.
quadplex.
So you're saying you want that in it,
But maybe you'd want examples from the city.
No, then we run into problems with property owners,
yeah.
highway
Yeah.
properties.
But I think, for instance, a duplex, people might check that off saying, well, that looks nice. And, or they might, the quadplex is pretty obvious that you've got 4 units. But, I think
Well, should you have a caption on each of these pictures?
I thought wasn't that if
The
you, if
the
you
caption-
highlight it, it comes up.
The caption I looked is,
Later, John,
when they tabulate the results, it'll say ranch house,
Oh,
you know, because the tabulation's not gonna show the picture, it's gonna show.
And you put.
Right,
So
so
I-
for the purposes of the person filling it out,
Yes,
just put a
yes.
caption under it.
No, it's all visual perception. That's
John, is our later question, we had some question about, do we delve into, and this is a question of how it looks design standards? Remember, we have a question later about,
I think
should there be
we do.
regulations?
Yes.
it's residential,
Right,
yeah,
think
commercial. Yeah.
so does that get to that answer about, like, maybe someone that doesn't mind quadplexes, but they don't want them to look like crap? Well, later on, when you ask them, should there be design standards in residential areas? I would think they would say yes.
Well, I think later on, there is a question. about
Right,
that.
that's,
You might, this question, well, you might delete the typo, and just say which house type
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
which type of house type,
Yeah,
Okay,
which house type.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, 13.
13 is, how high should a new house in your neighborhood be? This gets at the height of the stories.
and I guess we're just kind of assuming that, that's pretty clear. Most people think of a two-story house with a typical pitched roof, and that's what they're imagining, so.
I think that's pretty clear.
Number 14 is kind of a fun question. I tried to make it interactive. It says, use the sliding scale. How far back from the sidewalk should the house be located? So you can go from 0 to 50. Just slide the scale wherever you want it.
Devil's advocate, going back to 13,
Yeah.
could you put four stories? Well, what?
Four stories.
So are we talking about,
This is neighborhood.
this is residential?
This is residential.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
John, now that we talked about it,
Curious to know what their answer.
Oh, that, okay, I've got a problem with that.
I think it's, now that we're talking about this one, John, it just occurs to me, you said two-story, 25 feet.
Yeah.
That you're. I mean, isn't our 2.5 stories, what, 37 feet? What's our, or is it?
No,
Yeah, it can only be 20 feet if it had a flat roof.
Right.
I'll,
Yeah.
I got two architects and an architectural designer. You guys tell me what feet you want in.
So if he says,
Be-
you do like a two-story house, but what should you put for feet? Should it be 20 to 25? Like I thought, that's what I was thinking, Richard, 20 is like a flat roof.
I think it should be 25 to 30, and then the 2.5 story portion is bigger as well.
So 30 to 35.
Right.
So what, give me the numbers, guys.
But then people don't know height calculation.
What's the numbers? What are the numbers for 2-story?
You think that is
What?
What are the numbers for 2-story for John?
2.5?
2.5 is 30 to 35?
Or do you need the heights in this, John, or do you just wanna?
yeah, but people will never.
Simplify it.
Frame of reference.
Yeah,
should be-
eliminate.
Should you say up
Because I think people know what a 3-story house is, they know,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's get rid of the heights.
eliminate the heights and just do
Okay.
stories.
Well, Reg suggested up to and just the columns.
I think if you got rid of the heights, it would just, there would be no question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
I'm
right.
trying to figure out, well, where we met.
How tall is it?
I'm very into houses and when
Oh,
when
yeah,
I was,
it's like-
what's my gable at? I had to measure it. I mean, I was. It's very hard for
So
people.
you're saying, but just keep the heights in.
No,
No,
no.
Get
Take
it
'em
out.
out.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the parentheses.
Okay.
Most people don't understand that the
Right.
actual zoning height is halfway between the
Right.
and the E.
Right.
That's what I kept trying to figure out as we're doing this. I'm
Right.
like,
Okay, number 15 is if the new zoning code included site and building design standards such as height, entry location, building materials, and architectural compatibility for triplexes, which are 3 units, or quadplexes, would these building types be acceptable in your neighborhood?
That's it right there.
Okay,
Oh, wait. If a zoning code,
It's the news
The
one.
new zone.
no,
If the news.
if a zoning code, make it theoretical. If you haven't introduced the fact that this is all about the possibility of a new zoning code, it's not a cover sheet or just get their feeling on whether a zoning code could include this.
so it's,
I
I have it on the thing. Many of the characteristics can be codified into rules and regs in the city's zoning code.
Yeah, doesn't say we're doing a new zoning code.
Doesn't bother me
Yeah.
from way or the other.
We learned a little bit from the parks survey.
Or you could say if the zoning code includes, we would have to say new.
That's right. The word new is the one that.
Well, but, or is it good because we don't currently allow this kind of thing, right, John?
Correct.
So it's reemphasizing the point that this is a new thing. If in the new zoning code we allow, that's how I was taking it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, that would be new triplexes across, so it's a new thing. But is it okay if we put in these design standards? It's not a thing we currently do, it's not in our current code.
I think just get rid of new.
Yeah, you say. If the zoning code included, that kind of implies that
Yeah.
not there now.
We could change it to do it. Right.
Of course, you know, what if we do a sliding rule, and ask the question. How much of a site should be covered by a house? People could pay 50% of it,
Oh, that's.
75% of it,
Right now, it's like
House or
33 to
outside?
35%.
I don't know how you.
It was like some sort of a diagram, like a square within a square.
What percentage of the
Oh,
lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what maximum percentage of lot could be covered by something?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that aren't visual thinkers, so they don't like that picture.
Yeah.
But I think
That would
that's
be, no.
useful if you could do it,
In a
like
sliding-
Lance was saying, a box, but then expand or make it
Be able to make
smaller.
the box.
Yeah, not on Survey Monkey. If I had Qualtrics, I could do some other interactive, but not Survey Monkeys. Not that.
Cause I don't think people are gonna really get the percentages.
Well, if they
And I
use a
think they
slide,
use-
they can see the percentages on the slide. You know, it's not.
That could be
box.
your lot, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not for that much. I think it'd be a good question to ask, and it's just going back to maxes. But I think that's an important part for density, people understand.
Okay, so what percentage of a residential home should occupy?
Structures, though, it's not just the home. Could be, include the ADU and
You could be
attached garage,
Attached garage.
garden shed.
I'm afraid that with this scale, that they're gonna select like 50%, which is not gonna be appropriate, and then that's going to circumvent here.
Well, then when we
again.
have our community outreach night, if we can ask people, like, you said 50%, we can have a diagram up and be like, is this, do you really want 50%? Like, this is what it would look like.
Well, it doesn't say percent. People
Yeah.
gotta assume that's
Do you
percent.
think
Yeah,
people
oh, yeah.
care? Do you think people care so much about that percentage? Or what they really care about is this issue of side yard setbacks, how close things are to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Which we did add that
But
question,
somebody could,
space between
yeah,
houses.
if we didn't have a 30% allowed lot coverage and everyone
Yeah.
just did their buildable area,
right,
that would be over 30%.
It would be similar to Birmingham ran into that.
With the McMansions, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they maximize their lot coverage and then just towers over the bungalow next to them.
Yeah.
And that's where Palo Alto, right?
but what kind of setbacks do they have? We got a 25 yard.
Oh, I love daylight.
Oh, they're
planes.
very similar. I
Oh, really?
compared the Petoskey
Daylight planes,
ordinances to. Birmingham.
so it shows, it enables people to get sun in their windows where another house can't, put them in the shade 24/7.
So guys, what do you want with this percentage of,
Well, alternative, the way you did the photograph, you could do 2 or 3 boxes that show different percentages filled in.
Right.
okay,
I think it's best, but it does bring up the point where percentage, like how would they know is that percentage, and then it's also the same, like, is that feet? Is there
Right,
a
yeah, it's
feet?
14 feet
percentage.
percent symbol or something.
Yeah,
Well, the number 14 is feet,
it doesn't say that.
But where does it say feet?
but you assume it, using a sliding scale, how far back from the sidewalk should the house be located?
Should have,
90 feet.
should have footmark next to it.
What do you say?
Say it, people need. 50 feet. Equation it.
You're right.
Okay. I'll try to come up with a new number 15. But keep with the numbers so we're all on the same page. Number 16 is please evaluate the following as they relate to your neighborhood: street width, traffic volume, on-street parking availability, bike-friendly street.
Do quality of the street material.
I didn't want to go down that road. It's not,
Can you give them a comment period to elaborate if they choose to?
yeah, I could say, there'll be a comment box.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, that might be good.
Okay, we have 26 of these. So,
Okay, 17 is using the scale. Tell us your opinion on preserving views of the bay or historic landmarks.
This is the Albert Memorial question.
Yes.
Weren't you gonna reverse 18 and 17?
Yes, I thought I did already, but maybe I did. I
so
thought,
17 becomes 18 and 18 becomes 17. Is that what you're talking about?
the last time we had it the other way. We asked, you guys told me to reverse it, so
Oh,
we were talking about the bay and historic landmarks,
oh,
and the number 18 was, do you have a view of the bay?
after they've answered it, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
That's how, yeah.
all right. Then number 19 is development standards. Which type of development should have a higher level of standards related to their activities? The standards would include such items as lighting, noise, hours of operation, traffic, off-street parking, and outdoor storage. Please select all that apply. And we talk single family, detached, attached, apartments, ADUs, mixed use, restaurant, bars, entertainment, retail or shopping, automotive related, public, industrial, and home occupations.
I think it's good, John. This is just jogging my mind now that Red said something about Monday night's meeting. Do we have a specific? Do we have a specific enough question? Do you think? In general, that there should be parking requirements for
Residential.
residential?
What is that?
Commercial.
Another question. Oh, for commercial.
I mean, should we have a standalone on that so we can get feedback from what the citizens think?
Yeah, it's number 22.
It is.
Number 22 says, in your opinion, should the number of off-street parking be based on the type of use mandated by the code? Or should the property owner, business owner decide how much parking they
Okay,
need?
yeah, we did.
We did it.
So we'll get.
We'll get that
All
information.
right, so do we want to add anything to 20?
I'm good.
On 19, comparing 19 and 20, you've got, under 19, you have the word activities.
Yes.
Highlighted, bolded, which is sort of the purpose of that one, but under 20, you don't have exterior appearance bolded. Don't you want to bold that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just to be consistent.
You want to comment, Tom, on the margin?
you can.
Careful. Yeah.
And then 21 is, how should the quality of new commercial apartments or mixed uses improve in the future? And then we have improved landscaping, building construction, parking lots, sidewalks, bicycle, wayfinding, and
What do you mean, new commercial buildings?
yeah, new commercial apartments, mixed use buildings.
The qualitas, improved building construction material.
Commercial building of apartment, okay. Mhm.
And then 22 is about parking if we need it or not. 23 is please identify any issues or concerns you have regarding residential districts. 24 is commercial districts and 25 is industrial districts. These are all comments.
So Carolyn, the quality, do you think that's a better?
I just don't know, like, if that's the right term.
Yeah.
So we're talking about what? Development 21?
Yeah.
So improved building construction materials, that was the first thing that I thought of.
Should it be
Lots of
appearance?
cheap
Should it be
development
appearance?
Yeah.
characteristics.
Character,
And
People really know what character means, so people like us.
Would we say architectural character?
Appearance, I like the
appearance.
Yeah.
Okay, so. How would you fit that in there?
Should the appearance of new commercial apartments or mixed use be improved in the future?
Well, aren't they just gonna pick all of them?
Probably, developers probably won't. and
Right.
The rest of us will.
I think some would, and then some people will really hit their big.
I can tell you what I can do is I can turn this into a ranking.
Oh.
So they have to rank them one, whatever the number is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 through 7, I have to rank them, so we can find out what the top
Yeah,
concerns
that's a
are.
good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
So appearance is so subjective though, and building construction materials is specific. Cause you can have a very pretty building that is all vinyl. So,
Here we have two new ones. Here,
Yeah, but they're,
I don't know.
they have multi.
We gotta, you gotta think about, we all come from different specialties, you have to think about how
building,
a resident that is not from a design profession or a planning profession is gonna read this and what
Right, and they're focused on, we're focused in this question about appearance.
it's about appearance.
So if the vinyl looks better, they're gonna vote for it.
okay.
And do they really know what the quality
Right.
Yeah,
means?
Yeah,
Somehow.
so appearance.
Quality's so subjective for a lot of people.
And then the other, last four are just comments. And they're not required, it's like, you got anything to tell us about residential, commercial, or industrial districts? Anything in particular?
I was wondering in the very number one, we had a box if they wanted to fill in, they could put in their address.
Put their address on?
Yeah. Just to be.
You need a ward.
Yeah, you get.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You get the warrant.
Yeah, I don't wanna get into trouble.
Oh, you wouldn't have to put it.
When you fill it out, you wanna be anonymous, huh?
Yeah.
So that-
Right.
I'll make the changes.
All right. So,
Yeah, this is kind of like chapter 6.
It just keeps going.
You don't say what's going to happen to the results or when they'll be available in this. At the very end, you might wanna say something, you know. Check back periodically to the City of Petoskey website for
Or
summary
invite
of, summary of results.
them to the open house
Your
or
email.
The open
the next event.
Weekly newsletter. You can register for the weekly newsletter. Can we do that in here?
would you wanna have where they could register for the,
I've
is there a
registered
weekly
3 times.
newsletter?
No, we send out
Well,
e-blasts.
John, in
Well,
your,
the city, sends out a newsletter.
Yeah, I've registered 3 times, I still don't get it.
but John, in your intro on page 1 before question 1, do you want to include something? These results will be tabulated and will be
Yeah.
available.
Send this to me.
On the city's website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some information to.
Yeah.
Right.
Be more aware.
And you also have an opportunity to sell them something if you wanna sell them something. Meaning. Engage in the process.
Well, we, on the city website, project website, if they want to get notified, they give us their email. We got about 60 or 70 people that gave us their emails.
Mhm.
So every time we have a meeting, they get an email. Every time that we have meeting minutes, they get an email. So I can put at the bottom, the last part of if you want to being kept informed of the progress on the zoning ordinance, insert your email, and then we'll harvest that.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thanks. It'll be fun. I'm interested to see what this comes out.
Yeah,
Thanks.
they've been there all the time.
If,
All right.
the only question I have is how do we want to,
Distributed.
well, do we want to wait another month to see the next iteration or is,
I think we should get it out there.
we should I'll send it out. I'll send it out to everybody on the PC. The next revision, and then anybody that's got any questions can just comment individually. Don't reply all.
Yeah.
Remember.
Is there anyone outside of the planning commission that ought to be consulted on this before it goes to?
It's not something the lawyer needs to see.
You're talking about city council. needing to see it?
City manager, city council.
I'll show this, the city
I mean,
manager, obviously.
There was such a negative pushback on the Parks and Rec survey. I just think, the more everybody's on the same page, the happier everybody will be.
What was the Park and Rec survey?
The one that went out with the examples of, the 2 examples of what do you want for your local park?
Okay,
and said, it implied, choose one or the other. Cause
Oh.
you're gonna get one of these.
oh, okay.
It was not clear that this was simply an idea conversation.
But yeah, sooner we can get out there.
So it did more harm than good in the
But
end.
John, at some point, I mean, how many people can you create this survey with?
I mean, this is a,
Pretty good group.
yeah, this is like a manageable group. I think we start throwing a draft out saying, why don't you comment, Look,
Get beyond the draft stage.
we're never gonna get beyond the draft
I
stage.
understand.
I think some of the questions that I know council's concerned about,
Shane may be very sensitive to if he wants somebody else's feedback.
I'll certainly, he has that prerogative as city manager.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioner comments.
Okay.
What were your impressions of the council meeting? They were slightly different than mine, in terms of the zoning.
Well, they couldn't even like the parking thing. They could not get past that this was a temporary thing for this particular site. I mean. You know, that.
Well, here's an example, and it thank you, refresh my memory. We have a business that has come to the city to take out a zoning permit. It's a pizzeria. They have no seats. And based on our current code, they're not required to provide any parking for their employees.
Correct.
And that's exactly what we told council, what we thought could happen. Is that some of these new businesses now don't have any seating. They don't want seating. They want the ability of people to come and pick it up, or they're gonna have DoorDash take it to your house. And we just got one of those businesses the other day. And that they're already under construction.
And by the way, I didn't want to say this to city council, but they are probably going to have at least one delivery car.
Probably.
Sure.
Okay, well,
That-
if we only require them one employee parking space, they may have 3 spaces they need for delivery vehicles. But
Although chances are people, with those DoorDash things, you provide your own car.
but
But you need to park, you need to start and come in and pick it
Oh,
up.
you're right, you're right.
Yeah.
That-
So we said it was coming and it's come. I mean, Lisa got the zoning and she called me up and said, John, just want to let you know, we got a business that has no seating. And therefore they're not required to have any parking. So that's fine.
Wasn't that mighty fine?
There should.
No, well, Mighty Fines like that. They
They're
rely on
downtown.
gas. Yeah, but this is a new pizzeria.
well, it's Jimmy John's, it's not pizza.
No, it's Cottage Inn
Oh,
Pizza
This is a different location.
from Ann Arbor, yeah.
oh, it's a different
This is a
location.
different location. Jimmy John's. Yeah.
Which location is it?
They're going in where the Dolce Vita
Pizza.
salon used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a terrible spot to get in and out of.
What's that? No, right over on,
That's a terrible spot to get in and out of, right there by the marathon station. you-
right there.
Yeah.
It's, they got the bin out there,
That's a nightmare to get in and out.
they're, the current code allows it. No parking, they don't need any parking, because right now it says if you don't have any dining space, you don't need any parking.
Well, the attitudes at city council on Monday night, and Reg will check me on this. Maybe it was a slight exaggeration, but there was one council person who said that I trust that business owners know what they need. Let them do what they need. That was one. Another one was simply don't want to even consider this because I'm two of them so pissed that we aren't further along with this process. This is a Band-Aid and we don't want Band-Aids, we want fixes. And then there was the other point of view, which is we're going the wrong way in Petoskey regarding parking. The rest of the country is doing away with parking limitations, and that's the direction we should be headed. I'm voting no.
Most of the communities are going to mid-max, which we have here already. Required number, set number.
Which confused the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Min-max.
There's only one community that I know of, maybe there's more, but the latest community that went no parking was City of Denver about a month ago,
Yeah.
after 10 years of quibbling about it. They finally said, we're not gonna have any parking requirements anymore. Don't care, build whatever you want. You don't have to provide.
And if I
parking.
could, John, you know, it has to be pointed out that. Just because someone did something, doesn't mean it's a good idea, they don't know the implications of how that worked.
Yeah.
Like you said, Denver just did that,
But it took them 10 years, so
5 or 10 years
to go through all that.
to know what happened, it doesn't mean it worked out.
And it doesn't mean,
Yeah.
maybe after 2 years it won't work out. They're gonna-
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but you know, the bottom line is I don't think people appreciate the amount of work that the zoning committee has put into this, because
No,
I've recorded every meeting. And we have 5 people, I have all the numbers. Every meeting goes at least 2 hours. The zoning committee has spent hundreds of hours
And
writing.
you say they
Well,
don't,
and it's
but they
not
don't,
only the meeting time.
But it's the prep time.
preparation.
it's,
You know, we all do a lot of research.
Search.
they appreciate it, but not in a positive way.
well, he wants to get it.
He's, you
Before
know,
he's off the commission.
well, first of all, he wants it, but he said it, basically, he hadn't said this, but if you just done what Lindsay and I asked for to begin with, it had been done a year ago.
Well,
Yeah.
we're doing a new code, we're doing it methodically, we're doing it with a lot of conversation, a lot of forethought. I've been very comfortable with the progress. I know that when it gets to council and the community, there may be some different attitudes that go on. I'm expecting it, but I can honestly say that we have done a really good job doing our homework to date. We really did. So,
I would urge you to give some more consideration to some kind of clerical review of the 2 documents to try and draw the points together, because one of the continuing board members said, one of the continuing council members said to me that without such a document, they don't have the time to do their due diligence and put in the number of hours that Zork did, and therefore they're gonna vote no.
that's good. They should, then they should vote no. Because my position is this, as a former mayor and a former council person, you rely on the people that you appoint to your commissions to do a good job. You don't second guess them, especially when this group has spent hundreds of hours. The council should be appreciative of that. Now, if they listen to this, they may get upset with me, don't care, because that's the missing link that's going on in local government. Between the commissions and the elected officials, you guys get appointed by them. You guys submit your applications, they know you in the community. They should have respect for the amount of time that you put into these work tasks.
Yeah.
So when you deliver something to them, they should be assured that you guys put your time into it without second guessing everything that you do,
Like the rental ordinance,
like the rental ordinance.
why are they sitting up?
I had no idea.
Charlie, I hope you can point out when you're on too, what a huge disservice it would have been to take this zoning ordinance from the 1970s, 2025,
Yeah.
and not do a thorough review
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
Right.
That
I mean-
would be unthinkable.
Charlie,
I'm just telling you what I'm.
and I'm just telling you what my experience of 40 years in local government has been. The elected body appoints the commissions. They should have respect in what their junior commissions bring to them. There shouldn't be all this second guessing that goes on. And re-review.
There
I
are
mean-
voices, more than one voice there, that feel that this should have been rewritten by the council.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And that is.
When are they gonna see?
I understand.
That's litigation waiting to happen.
This on it.
Let's get the lawyers lined up with the briefcases outside, ready to go. Now, come on. I mean, that, in fact, you know, the bottom line is that is not the role and responsibility of the city council.
Yeah, Reg, we get educated. So, I have my citizen planner, master citizen planner certification. So I have taken, I don't know, many classes. I take 6 credits a year. So for the city council to try to tackle this board gets educated. So that we actually know
Yeah,
well, begin to have an understanding, and then we have the guidance of our city planner.
and the zoning administrator that works with it on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Can't discount, you can't discount the amount of expertise that Lisa brings
Yeah.
Oh,
to the
But
zoning.
this October training thing that's coming up will be universal for the planning commission and.
I apologize for my tyrant, but I'm not apologetic about it.
You don't need to apologize.
I just think that there's a disconnect between what the elected officials do in any community and what their commissions are doing. Same thing's happening in Harbor Springs.
Oh, God, yes.
Their planning commission this last year has quantified that they've worked over 1,700 hours
Yeah.
on the zoning ordinance, and the city council over there is probably still gonna vote it down. I mean, this is systemic, what's happening now in local
It doesn't
government.
take very many voices to steer it that way either.
No, it does not.
Mhm.
So,
Just
Yeah,
takes the
I-
louder voices.
put it this way,
Yeah.
the process, we're working with the committee and working with the planning commission, and I'm sure working with parts of the community has been very, very desirable. And I think it's been very easy in terms of how we've all communicated together and the input that we've received. Am I expecting it to go that easy when we get to the city council or the community? No. And you shouldn't either. But I am gonna require, when I will use the word require, that when the ordinance is on the meeting for the first reading at city council, I want the entire planning commission there, as well as Ted, who worked on the committee, in the audience, helping make the presentation. It's not my ordinance, it's our ordinance, and it's the community's
Good
ordinance,
idea.
That's good, yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
so.
Well, it doesn't, I was asked countless times as well as being chastised on the record. When we thought we would be putting it forward to city council and. I was not encouraging that they would see it this year.
My target was December, but based on the fact that we have to get the survey out yet and have the open houses, they're probably not gonna see it probably until January or February.
That was mine.
Charlie, wasn't there some sense that the mayor didn't really want to discuss it with council changes over at the
Yeah.
first of the year?
So rephrase your question,
My understanding, I thought that the mayor actually was hoping to have the discussion more after the first of the year.
Mhm.
well,
In other words, if there's someone at council, 1 of 5 who's not even gonna be there.
but yeah,
Yeah.
logic would dictate that it should be a little bit smoother sailing after the first.
Yeah.
But. There's no intentional purpose on anybody's part to hold it up.
Yeah.
Until,
No, it's just,
until it comes, it's just the timing of
it's
it.
the timing of it. We wanted to wait until school was in session. People got settled back in after the summer to start the community, the survey and the open houses, so we
Right.
weren't competing with vacations and getting kids back to school and everything. So it's, I think the process that we've been using has been pretty thoughtful for the
Of course,
community.
the seasonal people will, yeah.
All right, so I wasn't paying attention.
We're
And I
good.
apologize. It's just been a routine conversation. It's 10:12. Do you have any updates?
I gave you the update on the Cottage Inn,
On the what?
Cottage Inn,
Right.
and depending on how the council,
Where's the location?
it's. The Cottage Inn is over on kind of the confluence of Madison and Mitchell. In that small little,
Oh, to that location, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you said before.
yeah, it's right, right.
Right across from Carnival.
I used to take my
Yeah,
wife there
exactly.
to get her hair done.
That's it,
It's a
that's it.
terrible place to get in there.
Yeah, they only have 3 stalls or maybe 2, but that's the spot. And that's where they're going. If you go there now, there's a dumpster out front.
Yeah, I had seen that dumpster long ago, it's going.
Yeah. Don't know how the parking issue is gonna come out with council, but we do have we will be probably seeing in October, you'll be seeing a site plan for a new Jimmy John's over on Mitchell Street, where
On Mitchell? Across from McDonald's?
No,
By the quick here.
right next to the.
Right to the quick care, yeah. Where it's like a.
Service so far out of
service
town.
station.
I think it's about.
Brown.
There was more quick access, readily available food.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
Max, what did you say?
It's just.
We need what?
Quick access to readily available, affordable foods downtown.
Yeah, and I agree, I was disappointed, but.
Right,
the
that's
new-
gonna just make more of a traffic mess.
Well, the new owner, it's not the former owner.
Oh.
It's the guy that had the franchise, my understanding, did not want to continue it. So a franchisee down in the Grand Rapids area has been looking at Petoskey, and when that opened up, he decided but his franchises had to drive through.
That would have been beautiful if it could have remained.
Yeah.
And that was a great. An argumentative part of the discussion on that side on Monday night.
Well, the bottom line is though, that kind of discussion about if we need to amend the parking shouldn't be done in the context of the idea that there could be
Individual location.
individual
Of course it
location.
should, and you also shouldn't say on the matter of public record that Bob Bird needs to be thrown out of town. I mean,
Whoa.
Did that get said?
not this Monday night, but a couple of Monday nights ago,
Wow, I've
But-
been missing.
yeah.
So you make that, I'm 90% sure that site plan will be on your October meeting agenda.
Okay,
How about the Jimmy John?
The Jimmy John's.
all right,
Okay,
so it is 8:15 and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
He says it's a big red.
It's not too late, Red.